Many videos on this channel explain the big picture of prophetic signs that the righteous Christian God of the Bible used to point to October 17, 2023. This video will explain the extremely important prophetic signs that occurred on October 17th. These signs include the rocket that hit the hospital in Gaza, which caused the cancellation of the four-party summit right before Joe Biden boarded his Air Force One plane for the Middle East. Many other important signs and connections will be explained in this must-watch video. God has also used the prophetic signs on October 17th to predict the date that Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash on November 28, 2023. The date that this video is posted proves that this prediction is being made ahead of time, as does this time-stamped email and forensic notes PDF document. If you are skeptical for some reason, please email me and I will forward these to you. This video explains some of the amazing and important prophetic signs that the righteous Christian God of the Bible used to point to October 17, 2023, regarding the prediction that U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash. Here is the email and forensic notes document that indicate that the prediction for Harris's plane crash on October 17, 2023 was known since July 6, 2023. In fact, it has been known since October of 2020 that Harris will die in a plane crash so that Barack Obama can become the president again. God pointed to October 17th, ahead of October 17th, and so it was believed that Harris's predicted plane crash would be on October 17th. For an explanation for how the prophetic signs that occurred on October 17th revealed adding an additional 2 times 3 sets of 7 days to October 17th to reach the date that it is predicted that Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash on November 28, 2023, please watch the very important Gaza explosion video. If you have already watched this introductory information at the beginning of another video, you can skip ahead literally 10 minutes. The main story on October 17th was the rocket strike of a hospital in Gaza that caused the cancellation of the four-party summit talk in the Middle East right before Joe Biden boarded his Air Force One plane for the Middle East for this talk. On this same day, Kamala Harris flew her Air Force Two plane for a talk at a university in northern Arizona near the Four Corners Monument. The four-party summit talk between leaders of 4 nations and Harris's talk at a university in the Four Corners region pointed to the 4 horns and 4 craftsmen that are described in the apocalyptic prophecy in the first chapter of the book of Zechariah in the Bible. This is because in Bible prophecy, a horn is symbolic of a leader of a nation, and a college is where a trade or skill or knowledge for a profession is learned. Northern Arizona University has 7 academic colleges, and Kamala Harris is the 49th vice president. This hints at 7 and 7 times 7. Because 49 equals 7 times 7. This is a symbolic 3 sets of 7. This parallels the book of Joshua and the description of the Israelites' march around the walls of security of the ancient city of Jericho once per day for 7 days, followed on the 7th day with marching 7 times while blowing 7 trumpets, after which the walls of security then collapsed in God's judgment. In the book of Joshua, it was in fact a 7 days, followed by a 7 and 7. It was a symbolic 3 sets of 7. This is why 2 times 3 sets of 7 days from the 49th Vice President's flight to visit the university with 7 academic colleges on October 17th will be the date it is predicted that the 49th vice president will die in a plane crash. More precisely, the Israelites marched once per day for 7 days, and then on the 7th day they enacted a symbolic 7 and 7, with their marching 7 times while blowing 7 trumpets. Likewise, 7 days after the 49th vice president flew on her plane to visit 7 academic colleges was October 24th, and the day that 2 planes collided with each other, clipping their wings, at the airport 7 miles from downtown Houston in Harris County in Texas, which was the same day that the agency in Gaza confirmed that there had been 700 deaths from Israel's air raid in the prior 24 hours, the deadliest 24-hour period in Gaza thus far in the conflict. This followed Israel's deadliest day when Hamas invaded and killed 700 plus 700 Israelis. This hinted at adding 7 plus 7 days after 700 Gazans were killed to reach November 7th. It was Joshua who led the Israelites in a symbolic 3 sets of 7 before they blew trumpets and the walls of security came crashing down. On November 7th, Prime Minister Netanyahu, the leader of Israel, which is symbolic for Joshua, the leader of the Israelites, announced, in other words, trumpeted, that the Israeli forces had crossed over the perimeter around Gaza City and were deep inside Gaza City fighting Hamas, which was symbolism for the Israelites taking the city of Jericho after encircling Jericho with their symbolic 3 sets of 7. Also, on November 7th, there was 1 death in a car pileup crash on the I-10 highway just outside the city of New Orleans, Louisiana, due to a superfog event. The 1 death on the I-10 highway hints at Joshua, who died at the age of 110. The crash was just outside the city of New Orleans, which hints at the Israelites just outside the walls of the city of Jericho, and New Orleans and Louisiana are French names that hint at St. Louis, also a French name, where it is predicted that Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash. Superfog is symbolism for not being able to see what is in the immediate future and not being able to see that the Antichrist Barack Obama is about to become the president again in the immediate future due to Harris's plane crash. The prophetic signs that hinted at Joshua on November 7th confirm adding an additional 3 sets of 7 days to November 7th to reach the date of Kamala Harris's predicted airplane crash on November 28th. This current conflict regarding Israel and Hamas began when Hamas crashed through the border wall of security and killed 700 plus 700 people. One reason why these prophetic signs related to Harris's plane crash parallel these signs involving Hamas is because the name Hamas hints at Harris. The first chapter of Zechariah also mentions 4 horsemen among myrtle trees. The number 37 hints at 3 sets of 7, and this is why the rocket struck the hospital in Gaza exactly 37 weeks after the Chinese spy balloon crossed over the northern border wall of security with Canada and into the US, which is the 49th latitudinal line. The 49th parallel hints at 7 times 7, before being struck down by a rocket off the shore of Myrtle Beach, North Carolina. The Zechariah prophecy that mentions myrtle trees also mentions God's mercy and promise to restore Israel after its 70 years of captivity in Babylon. The Chinese spy balloon was struck down by a rocket next to Myrtle Beach, exactly 70% of a year, which hints at 70 years before the rocket struck the hospital in Gaza, which canceled the four-party summit, which alluded to the prophecy of 4 horns, 4 horsemen, and myrtle trees. This 70% of a year in between these 2 rocket strikes is predicted to be followed by 2 times 3 sets of 7 days before it is predicted that the 49th Vice President's plane will be struck by God with lightning, turbulence, and a bird strike, and then predicted to crash near the I-70 highway in St. Louis, a city over which passed the 70-mile-wide path of totality of the Great American Eclipse, when it also passed over 7 cities named Salem, which hints at Jerusalem, almost 7 years ago. The reason for this middle date of October 17th, the reason why God pointed to October 17th in advance of October 17th, is that the date 1017 hints at the important verse in the book of Zechariah, the prophetic book that speaks of 4 horns, 4 craftsmen, and 4 horsemen among myrtle trees, which is chapter 1, verse 17. Cry out again, thus says the Lord of hosts, my cities shall again overflow with prosperity, and the Lord will again comfort Zion, and again choose Jerusalem. When the prediction for Harris's plane crash comes to pass, it will prove that Islam, Jehovah's Witness, and the theology among Catholics and Protestants that says that the Church has replaced Israel are all false and wicked deception from Satan. Make no mistake, the reason why God has given me a voice through this prediction is to prove this. This isn't even scratching the surface of the importance of the prophetic signs that occurred on October 17th, 2023. So make sure you watch the Gaza explosion video. Some social media sites have a maximum length for videos that can be posted, and so I need to cut this video into 2 parts. Click on the link to watch the remainder of this video. You can also find this link in the description box below this video. Make sure you watch the remainder of this extremely important video that is posted on a different channel than the one you are watching now. The link to the rest of this video is in the description box below this video. If the link is not in the description box below this video, visit odyssey.com, which is spelled ODYSEE.com. On odyssey.com, in the search bar, type the name of my channel, Harris Crash Prediction. Then go into the channel by clicking the channel name, Harris Crash Prediction. Once you are on the channel's homepage, then click Content. Then use the channel's search box. This is different than the odyssey.com search box. Search for this video by typing the same video title as the title of the video you are currently watching. Alternatively, for more information on how to find this video, visit the website harriscrashprediction.com. Hopefully you at least found this introduction video to be interesting, and if so, please leave a like and a comment and upvote the video, and please help this video to go viral by sharing it with everyone you know and sharing it everywhere in social media.